Hey guys, welcome. For today's practice, you're going to want to grab a couple of blocks if you have them, and then a blanket or a pillow, something to sit on, and we're going to start lying down on our backs. So go ahead and start in constructive rest pose, knees bent, feet out wide to the outer edges of your mat, and then let your knees rest together. And then bring your hands to your belly. Go ahead, stack your right hand on top of your left. Close your eyes. And then to start to take some fuller breaths into that area underneath your hands. In our practice today, we're going to focus on moving from this central area. And you think about it as working from our core, but also to expand our idea of what we think of with core work. Sometimes that can get pretty focused on things like sit-ups, crunches, that work just this front segment of our body. When we start to work into that place of our deep core, place that feels really supported and integrated, and a place that moves more from our inner strength than our outer. And does it require some outer strength? Sure. And sometimes it's just a shift of perspective about where we're tapping into, where we're moving from. And so you might even find it feels more comfortable to have your hands a little lower or a little higher, and to see where is your center place. With hands there, that we start to create a little bit of muscle memory so that you'll be able to move from that place. And so just take a few more breaths there, like an imprint of where your hands are. And then release your hands, hug your knees into your chest, take our little rock side to side. And then we're going to start with knees stacked over hips, shins parallel to the ground. It's almost like you're just sitting in a chair but lying down. And just flex your feet and hug your inner legs together. Arms can come out wide, T-shape or cactus shape. And then sometimes when we do that, that central area feels like it wants to puff up and out. So knit your front ribs together and back. So it feels like there's a really firm container of your torso, and we move from a center that feels integrated and strong. And then take a full breath in. And as you exhale, begin to twist over to your left. That might just be a couple inches. That might be knees to hover off your mat, wherever your stopping point is. Use that strength of center. Inhale, come back up. And then exhale to your right. Just move side to side, nice and slow rhythm of your breath. And keep your inner leg strong. Sometimes as you twist, that bottom knee, bottom thigh wants to drop down. Keep squeezing the bottom thigh up towards the top thigh. And as you start to work into this twist, instead of just moving from legs or from pelvis, can you let that rotation come from the center? And we'll do this over and over with all of our actions, with our poses today. And take one more each side, or enough to finish up the round that you're on. And then hug your knees back in. Again, just take a rock side to side. Okay, from here, release your legs and stretch both legs up to the ceiling. Flex your feet. You do that same action, so your ribs, and sometimes it even helps take your hands there, right, to knit them together and back in towards your spine. So it doesn't feel like there's a big back bend and a puff up of your ribs, but like you're pressing your lower back ribs down. And then either hands by your side or arms out to T. Take a breath in. And then exhale, nice and slow. Lower your right leg down. I'm saying they might come a few inches. Might come a little bit more where heel comes to hover off your mat. And then just as slow and controlled, inhale, bring it back up. And exhale, left side. And as you lower, press from that area at your center all the way out through your heel. Come on back up, inhale, to your right. So it feels like you're moving your legs as an extension from your center, from your core, as opposed to them just kind of flailing around on their own. We tap into that bigger strength to help move. Good. Just keep going, your breath, your rhythm. And just stay heavy through your head and shoulders. Let that remain anchored back to your mat. I'm going to take one more again, each side, or enough to finish up the round wherever you're at. And then one more time, bring both knees into your chest, rock side to side. And from here, we'll come to tabletop. So if you want to roll back and forth a couple times or roll off to your side, whatever works best to get there. As you set up your foundation, spread out wide through your fingers, anchor down through your fingertips. And then find a little lift through your low belly and a cinch of your outer waistline in. Think about that sometimes, just like pulling the drawstring in on your pants, so that your core, your center, feels really supported. And then from there, a few rounds of cat-cow. So as you inhale, arch your back, look forward. And then exhale, round your back, draw your chin to your chest. Move with your breath. And see if here you can lead from that place that's your center. All right, so it helps to draw you forward and then roll your back up. And sometimes in our day-to-day activities, we get a little disconnected from this area. So it does just feel like limbs are moving in different directions and that things aren't as connected, as integrated. When we move from this place, we find a little bit more of that inner strength, inner power. And one more round. And then come back to neutral. Walk your hands forward a couple inches, anchor down through your fingertips, and then stretch up and back, down dog. And go ahead, settle into stillness in your down dog. I want you to feel that stability through arms and legs. As you root down into your fingertips, and then roll the eyes of your elbows up, wrap your triceps back. Stretch your hips up and back, and then root your heels towards your mat. Maybe a bend in your knees if that feels better. And find some lift of your low belly and hug of your outer waistline in. Those simple little movements to help really support our center. And from there, let your chest soften back towards your legs. Next, inhale, lift to your toes. Bend your knees, look forward, and then walk your feet to your hands, come to the front of your mat. Anchor down through your feet, inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. And that one more, strong legs. Inhale, lengthen out through your spine. And even here, find a little tone through your belly, open up through your chest. And exhale, fold. Press down into your feet. Inhale, this time come all the way to standing. Exhale, bring your hands together at your heart. And strong legs, lifted belly. And play with the place here too that feels like there's support, but there's not a grip, right? That your belly is soft enough that there's movement and room with your breath, right? But toned and lifted enough for their support. And that might just be playing with both ends of the spectrum to find where it is. And reach both arms up, inhale. And take a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Reach up and then over to your right. Anchor down a lot through your left foot and let your left hip come out to the side. And keep both arms strong up by your ears. And then to start to take your arms back a little bit, lift your chest up, take your gaze forward, especially if it feels like chin is tucked into chest. And come back up to center and then switch. Take a hold of right wrist with left hand. Reach up first, get the length, and then side bend to your left. Press strongly down through your right foot. And then just let your right hip sway way out to the side. Hug your arms up, especially the left arm tends to want to drop down. And then chest up, gaze forward. Come on back up to center. Inhale, fold forward, exhale. Lift halfway, take a breath in. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back, plank. Just like down dog and tabletop, get really strong through your hands. And you can keep knees up or knees down, but find that lift through your low belly and hug of your outer waistline in. Right, so that plank, while there's a lot of work in our arms, it feels like we can tap into that inner strength when we move from that place of our center. And take one more full breath in. And then exhale with bent knees or straight legs, lower all the way down. When you get there, press down through the tops of your feet. Walk your hands back so they're by your low ribs. And point your elbows straight back. Lengthen your tailbone back to your heels. With your inhale, lift up through your head, chest, shoulders, and then float your hands up as well. So focus on not as high of a lift, but getting that engagement along the back to turn on. And then exhale, lower down. Good. Float up, inhale, head, chest, shoulders, hands. And you can squeeze shoulder blades onto your back. And then lower down. One more, float up. Lift hands. You don't have to come high, just so really you're not using any strength from your arms and your hands. It's all coming through our back. Lower all the way down. Bring hands here by your ribs again. Press up and back, down dog. Take a full breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, lift to your toes. Bend your knees, look forward. Walk, step, or hop front of your mat. Lift halfway, inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, fold. Press down into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. And take a full breath. Find the lift and tone and enough softness for breath. And I think we're especially taught when we're working with core and support to really firm up. And while we want that support, we also don't want to be rigid. And a little softness of room for breath. Okay, both arms up, inhale. Bend your knees, sit back, chair pose, exhale. Keep arms up overhead or bring hands to prayer. Decide what feels best for you. As you settle your weight back into your heels and sit low, right, lift up through your chest. Your arms are lifted, reach all the way up through fingertips. And keep your inner legs strong, so hugging in. And the feet are a little bit wider apart. Keep the knees in that same plane, and just strong through inner legs. And press down into your heels, stand all the way up. Inhale, fold forward, exhale. Lift halfway, breath in. And exhale, fold, step back, plank. Knees up or knees down. Root down through fingertips. Low belly up and in. Outer waistline hugs in, just like pulling in the drawstring on your pants. And then traction the heels of your hands back towards your toes. See if you can get that engagement a little bit more through center. And sometimes it might be shaking a little bit here as we hold. Another breath in. And then exhale, lower all the way down. This time, stretch your arms back by your sides, turn your palms down, anchor through your feet. Inhale, lift up through head, chest, arms. You can float hands up as well. Keep lengthening tailbone back towards heels. Exhale, lower down. Float up, inhale, anchor down through the tops of your feet. Lower down, exhale. And one more, lift up, float up, strong back. Hold here. And again, we sometimes think of core just as the front. We have this support, kind of like a corset, that wraps all the way around the torso. Lower down, exhale. Bring hands by your sides. Stretch up and back, down dog. And full breath in. Big breath out. Root strongly through your hands. Inhale, reach your right leg up and back. Just take a moment here, level through your pelvis. So turn your outer right hip down. And then root back through your left heel. Inhale. Exhale, bring your right knee towards your right shoulder, elbow, tricep. Bring your shoulders forward over your wrists. Inhale, stretch it back. And then exhale, right knee across your body to your left arm. And stretch back, inhale. And then knee to nose, come straight down the center, exhale. Pause here. Press through your hands, hug your knee up. Maybe find a little rounding through your back body like cat pose. Good. Next, exhale, step all the way through low lunge. And if you want a little bit more support here, grab blocks. And take a moment to strengthen your inner legs. Roll your left inner thigh up towards the ceiling. And then just notice where your belly is here. Sometimes we have a tendency to let it just rest on the front thigh. If you bring a little bit more engagement to your center, and at that place where your hands were, can you lift some of the weight out of your arms by using the strength and integration from your core? Next, inhale, step all the way forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, bring both hands together at your heart. Good, strong legs, reach up, inhale. Bend your knees, sit back, chair pose, exhale. This time, go ahead, bring your hands to your heart. Settle back into your hips and bring the weight back into your heels. Keep your hips low, but lengthen up through your spine and open your sternum up towards your thumbs. Take a breath in. And then exhale, twist. Rotate left elbow to right thigh. And strong into center line. And then lengthen out from your tailbone to your crown. And start to move the center of your chest towards your thumbs. And tap into the inner strength as the legs work to support yourself in this chair pose twist. Again, enough support through your belly, but room for breath, especially in the twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, fold. Lift halfway, take a breath in. And fold, plant your hands, step back, plank. Root down through fingertips. Zip up through your lower belly and hug your outer waistline in. You're going to be having that on repeat in your head to find the integration. One more full breath in. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Okay, untuck your toes. And then a couple options, either hands back by your sides like we just did, or interlace your hands behind your back. Take a breath out. And inhale, lift up through head, chest, shoulders. Exhale, lower back down. Good. From the strength of your back body, lift up, inhale. Lower down, exhale. One more, float up, inhale. And then either stay here with the tops of your feet rooted or float your legs up. Stretch your fingertips or your knuckles back towards your feet. Hug your shoulder blades in towards your spine. And use that strength along your spine to lift maybe just a little bit higher. And lower all the way down. Hands by your ribs. Stretch back, down dog. Take a round of breath here in down dog. And root through your hands. Inhale, reach your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. And flex your foot. Turn your outer left hip down and root back through your right heel. Take another full breath in. And then exhale, left knee towards left arm. Slide your shoulders forward. Stretch all the way back, three-legged dog, inhale. And then left knee across to the right, exhale. Reach back, take a breath in. And then exhale, bring it straight down the center. Press down into your hands. Hug your knee up. Hug your heel up. Draw your chin in towards your chest. Then step your foot all the way through, low lunge. Grab blocks if you want a little bit more height there. You can even come up onto fingertips. That's helpful sometimes too. Squeeze your front heel towards your back toes. If it feels like you need to bring the front hip back, just dial your outer left hip back. Make your back leg strong. And then start to find that strength at center. Especially if it feels like, I just feel my belly resting down on my thigh. You find a little lift. So much so you can release some of the weight through your hands. It doesn't feel like we're just dumping weight there. And then from that place of your center, lengthen back through your right heel and out through the crown of your head. So it moves in as an extension from that. And next, inhale, step all the way forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. And sweep up, inhale. Bend your knees, sit back, chair pose, exhale. Again, bring hands to your heart. Settle weight to your heels. And then stay long through your spine, lifted through your chest. Take a breath in. And then exhale, twist, right elbow across to your left. You can even gently press your palms together, right? Not to force or push, but sometimes that resistance just helps you to lengthen and then rotate. With each breath, you can find that a little bit more space in your spine as you inhale, and then a little more twist, right ribs down, left ribs up as you exhale. Stay rooted and strong through your foundation. Imagine hands on your belly. Find the strength from that inner place. And inhale, come on back to center. Exhale, hands down to your mat. Lift halfway, take a breath in. Exhale, fold, hands down, step back, plank. This time in plank, take your feet just a little bit wider. They don't have to come up super wide, but hip width apart about. We're going to work a little with some rotation through the pelvis and legs. See if the goal can be to keep your upper body pretty still. And so shoulders aren't going to move so much, just lower body. Take a breath in, and then exhale, twist your heels to your right. And lift heels back up to center, and then to your left. And just see if you can feel what's moving. Keep upper body still. Heels up to your right, back to center, and to your left. And lift your heels back up, inhale, down dog, exhale. Take a full round of breath all the way to your center. Inhale, reach your right leg up. And then just like we did before, exhale, right knee towards right arm, shoulder, elbow, stretch back, inhale. And from your center, exhale, knee across, and then back up. And exhale, straight down the center, knee to nose, hug your chin in, press your hands into your mat, and a little round through your back body. And then this time, step your right foot all the way through. And step your left foot in a little bit so you can get your whole left heel down. Inhale, stand all the way up. As you exhale, take your hands behind your back. So you can grab forearms, elbows, just see where your range of motion is. And this is another one of those places like when we're lying down that the ribs kind of want to flare out on the front side, especially if you have a fair amount of range of motion there. So can you draw your ribs in and back? So it just feels like a firmer container around your center. And with your legs straight, squeeze your inner legs. Press down into your feet, lengthen your spine, and then start to hinge forward. It might be just a few inches. That's where your back says to stop. Or it might be upper body a little bit more parallel to your mat. Draw your outer right hip back. And then hug your shoulder blades in. Sometimes the heads of the shoulders want to drop forward here. Squeeze shoulders in. Stay anchored through your back heel and long out through the crown of your head. Right, and then notice here where you can find a little bit of support from your center. Is that a little bit more low belly up or outer waist in? So we think about that whole wrap, the transverse abdominis, that wraps all the way around your torso. We use that for support here. Next, inhale, reach both arms forward overhead, just like you're holding a big beach ball. And then exhale, fold forward, pyramid pose. This might be also a great place for blocks or fingertips or a little bend in your knee to get your arms, hands down to the mat. As you stay strong through your legs for a few breaths, just let your upper body soften, your head hang. Take a couple full breaths all the way down to your belly. And see here what it feels like just to let it soften a little bit more. Sometimes we really have to work both ends of that, right? The real firm support and then the softness to find the middle, the balance of the two. Next, inhale, lengthen halfway. And then walk your hands forward. You can bring your blocks with you. Lift your left leg up, standing splits. Level out through your hips here like we did in down dog. So you might want to roll your inner left thigh up towards the ceiling. Flex your foot. Find your center. From that center, lengthen out through your left heel, out through the crown of your head. Can you get a little bit more space? And then take a full breath in. And then as you exhale, tuck your left knee behind your right. Take a little squat. Curl your chin in towards your chest. You're hugging all in towards that center line. Inhale from there, lengthen, stretch it back out. And then exhale, knee behind knee, hug in. Inhale, stretch it back. And then one more time, curl in, knee behind knee, hug it in. And from the center, inhale, lengthen all the way back out. And as you exhale, walk your hands back. Step your left foot all the way back to low lunge. And then bring your left knee down. Take your right foot out a little bit wider and bring both hands inside. And then you can keep your right toes straight forward. That might feel like a really good place for your hips. Or you can take your right toes out at an angle. You might even just play a little bit and see Where's that? Just good place in the hips. And then you can stay up on your hands. You can come to forearms. You can come to forearms on a block. Sometimes that's a really nice one. And sometimes here, if it feels good, it doesn't always feel good every day. Right? I'm going to let the hips soften forward, but without collapsing. Can you find a little bit of support from your center and through your pelvis? So you can also find some opening in your hips without straining those muscles on the front of the hips and the pelvis. And whatever variation you're in, take a few breaths. And then walk your hands back up and slowly unwind. Step back, down dog. And then left leg up, inhale. Exhale, left knee towards left arm. Reach back, inhale. And then left knee across to right arm. So take the twist here, hug your leg up. Reach back, inhale. And knee to nose, come straight down the center. Root down through your hands. Hug your knee up. Hug your heel up. Draw your chin in towards your chest. And then step your left foot all the way through. Step in with your back foot. So a little shorter stance front to back so that your whole right heel roots down. And then turn your right toes out towards the long end of your mat, just an inch or two, right? Not like warrior two, just a little angle there. Then press down into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands behind your back. And you can take the other arm on top or in front. You can kind of figure out which one it was. Usually it's just whichever one doesn't come naturally. Okay, and then knit your front ribs in and back. Squeeze your inner legs together and bring your outer left hip back. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, start to hinge forward, whether that's a few inches or torso a little more parallel to the ground. And hug your shoulder blades in. Think about almost like lifting the heads of your arm bones up. And then find some support into your center. Lower belly, outer waist. And then press back into your arms so you feel that strength along your back turn on. About that whole corset for support. Stay rooted through your back heel. Okay, next inhale, reach your arms forward. And exhale, fold. Grab blocks if you want a little bit more support there. Fingertips, or even a little bend into your front knee. Sometimes fists can feel nice too. The days that our hands or wrists are a little bit more tired, I do that sometimes for a little bit more support. And then just soften through your upper body. And let your belly get soft. And take a few bigger breaths into that space. Like you can really feel the expansion and contraction. And with your next inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Walk your hands forward and reach your right leg up. Now you want your hands underneath your shoulders. And flex your right foot. Roll your inner right thigh up. And now from that stability at center, lengthen from your back heel all the way out through the crown of your head. Inhale. And then exhale, right knee behind left, curl into center. Inhale from there, lengthen back out, stretch, reach, heel to crown. Exhale, curl and round in. Inhale, lengthen. And one more, knee behind knee, hug it in. Inhale, lengthen back out. As you exhale, walk your hands back, step your right foot all the way back, and then bring your right knee down to your mat. Take your left foot out a little wider, bring both hands inside. And you can play here on this side, toes straight forward. Usually just gives a little different sensation than turning your foot out at an angle, wherever that angle is. And what you do on this side might be different from the first. You might hit a little different sensation in your hip there. You can stay up on palms or come down onto forearms or forearms on blocks. Sometimes even if you're kind of halfway in between, if you come down onto just one forearm, like your right forearm, but keep your left hand to your mat, that's a good middle point in between there. And keep some strength of your legs, and tone of your belly, as then you allow a little bit of softness through your hips. And just take a few breaths. And come back up onto your hands. Stretch back, down dog. Next, inhale, side forward, high plank. And then with your exhale, lower all the way down. From there, come on up onto your forearms, Sphinx pose. And tuck your toes, well, unwind your toes so that the tops of your feet are down. And then find a little lift through your belly here. That's just such a nice way to support the back bend that's happening too. So we're going to take it into this kind of fun, funky ripple for the spine that helps to engage that place at our center. And so as you inhale, lift up through your chest, take your gaze forward. And then as you exhale, start to coil, chin towards chest. Lift your belly up, lift your thighs up. And then inhale, thighs down, belly down, chest forward. Exhale, chin in, belly up, thighs up. Inhale, thighs down, belly down, chest forward. Okay, you can stay right there. Think of that as stage one. Or the next piece would just be to lift the knees and the shins up as well. You can try, you can ditch it, whatever works best. So inhale, and then exhale, chin in, belly up, thighs up. Maybe as you press into the tops of your feet, lift your knees, your shins. And then inhale, unroll, knees, thighs, belly, chest forward. Right, exhale, curl, coil in. So again, you might come here to thighs up, great work, or knees up as well. And then knees down, thighs down, belly down, chest forward. Good. Take one more, whichever variation, as you exhale to coil. And then inhale, come all the way forward. And come all the way down, press back, child's pose. And just take your knees wide enough so there's lots of space for your belly. And walk your hands forward here. Come up onto your fingertips. There's like little tents with your hands. And then press your fingertips down and forward. Anchor your heels back to your hips. And let your belly soften in. Rest your forehead to your mat. And take a couple breaths. Just notice how it feels to alternate between that full engagement, that sense of our inner strength, and then a little softness. We feel that there's a rhythm between the two. And think about that place of our inner strength and inner power. Like that, yes, we want to stand in that fully, but then there's also times to just take a breath, take a rest. And then press into your hands, stretch back, down dog. On your next inhale, lift to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or hop front of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips, anchor down to your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, bring your hands together at your heart. Okay, we're going to set up for a little bit of balance here. So start with your feet together. Find the focus point for your eyes. And as we move into balance, think about moving from that place where we find a little bit more stability. Then bend your knees, sit back. Bring your weight into your left foot. And then cross your right knee on top, eagle pose. You're going to have toes down, shins parallel, or wrap your right toes around. Bring your arms out wide to T. And then exhale, right arm underneath left. If you want to do hands to shoulders or the wrap of your hands. And strengthen through your inner legs. You settle your hips back. Lift your elbows in line with your shoulders. And then think about where your hands were at the beginning. Can you have the pose move? Find steadiness from there. So it's not all just up to the one little foot that we're standing on. And come from that place that feels strong inside to help us find a little bit more stability and strength outside. And keep the wrap of your arms. Inhale, stand all the way up. Bring your knee up. Exhale, press back, warrior three. And then just like we did before, level out through your pelvis. So roll your outer right hip down. Lift up through your low belly. Hug your outer waistline in. Find the support. And then unwind your arms, reach your arms back by your sides. You do that same action here with your ribs. Draw your low front ribs in and back like you're knitting them together. And then from all that support at your center, lengthen out in all directions. So the expansion comes from the middle. And inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, both feet down, hands to heart. Take a breath, even two. And then we'll switch sides. So bend your knees, sit back, weight to your right foot, and then knee on top of knee. So toes down, shins parallel, or wrap. And bring your arms out wide, and then left arm underneath right. Okay, sit low, squeeze your legs in, and then lift your elbows up. Yep, you can always do hands to shoulders. Sometimes that's a nice variation. And think where your hands rested on your belly, where's your center? As you bring attention to that place, you can use it to help find a little more stability. Keep your breath steady and full enough. With your inhale, keep the wrap of your arms, stand all the way up, bring your knee up. And then exhale, press your left foot back, warrior three. Turn your outer left hip down. Draw your low belly up and in. And then hug your outer waist in, find the drawstring action. Keep that, stretch your arms back by your sides. Turn your palms down and hug your shoulder blades in. And then knit your lower front ribs together and back. From that integration, reach out, expand. Press down into your right foot, out through your left foot, out through your fingertips and the crown of your head. Stand all the way up, inhale. Both feet down, hands to heart, exhale. Great, arms up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Lift halfway, take a breath in. And then exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back, plank. Inhale in plank. Exhale, forearm plank. No, we're getting there, almost there. Root through your forearms. Work towards hips in line with shoulders. And find that same support, belly, outer waist, ribs. And feel the strength of your back for support. Take another breath in. And then exhale, lower your hips down. Come all the way down to your belly. And press back, child's pose. You can keep arms out in front or rest them back by your feet this time. And let your forehead settle to your mat. Soften through your belly. And let your back body round. And just feel that opposite end from strength to softness. And walk your hands back if they're forward. Come all the way up, have a seat. Stretch your legs out in front. If you want a blanket or a pillow, something to sit up on for forward fold, grab that. Okay, start with your legs out in front. And then draw your right foot in, so sole of your foot to your inner thigh. And then take your left foot out about 6 or 8 inches. So not super wide, just a little bit of an angle. And then root back through your seat. Inhale, reach both arms up overhead. And as you exhale, twist from that strength of your inner body over towards your left leg. And then fold forward, hinge at your hips. Stay long through your spine. Use the strength of your back to control you on the way down. And then wherever that stopping point is, bring your hands down. It might be here, here. If you can reach right hand to outer left foot, you can do that. And you can take your left fingertips and out like a rudder as you bend your elbow and come up onto your fingertips. And then with your next inhale, back out just a little bit. Lengthen out through the crown of your head. Rotate your right ribs down, left ribs up, and then fold forward. So you get a little bit more twist, a little bit more length with that. And once you feel like you have that full twist, full length, then let your upper body soften. You can let your back round. And feel those full breaths again come into the space of your belly. And I think when we're on our mat, we start to really learn how to work in this way. From our center, from the stability. And sometimes if we can just take these little cues that we use in our practice and take them into all of our other daily activities, whether it's other exercise or just the way we move throughout the day, would things feel a little more supported, a little bit more knit together. It always feels like we're moving from the center. Come on back up. Switch sides. Right leg forward. Bring your left foot in. And then just take your right foot out a little bit wider. Anchor back through your seat. Reach all the way up through your arms. And then from the inner strength, draw your right ribs back to twist. And then keep your spine long as you fold and hinge forward. Reach, reach, reach. And then let hands come down. That might be here, here, maybe left hand to right foot. Right hand like a bit of a rudder. And then like we did on the first side, back out just a little bit. Lengthen out through the top of your head. And with a little bit more rotation, roll your left ribs down, right ribs up. And sometimes your hand there as a rudder can just give you a little support with that. Then fold in, and then let your upper body round and soften once you've gotten all the length in the twist. And then we can let go a little. And just take a few breaths here. And that place where you move from might feel a little different for everybody. There's no one location. It's just about what helps you. Bringing attention there and then moving with intention from that place. I notice the biggest difference here, even just when I'm paying attention to it when I'm out for a walk. I feel so much more supported. Come all the way back up. Unwind your legs. Come on down onto your back. Bend your knees, place your feet for bridge pose. And bend your arms, take them like robot arms. So the backs of your arms are down and your hands, your palms face towards one another. And take a full breath out. And with your inhale, press into the backs of your arms and your feet, lift your hips up. Exhale, lower down. And lift up, inhale, press your arms, press your feet. Exhale, lower. And last one, lift up. This time, stay. Press through your heels, traction them back. And then really press into the backs of your arms, into your triceps. From there, maybe you can lift your chest a little bit more and roll your shoulder blades under. Move the center of your chest towards your chin and press the back of your head down. And take one more full breath in. And then exhale, lower your hips all the way down. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees out wide in butterfly. And one more time, bring your hands to your center. Right, that might be closer up towards your ribs, might be more down towards your low belly. But as we move today in practice, where does it feel like that was coming from? And release your hands, help your knees in. Hug your knees into your chest, curl your forehead up to your knees, take a full breath in. And then exhale, release, stretch it out, Shavasana. Grab any support, props that would be good. And then you can either stretch your arms long by your side, or you can take your hands back to that place of center. See what feels good as you rest here. Let your shoulders drop back. And then really let the center of your body soften. Let go of any effort with breath. You might even just feel your breath move to that center, to your core, this place where we find the integration. Right? And our core really just means that, at the center. And rest there. And start to take some fuller breaths again. With your next inhale, reach both arms out, take a full stretch. And as you exhale, one at a time, draw both knees into your chest. Roll to your side. And then press yourself all the way back up to sitting. Bring your hands together at your heart. Lift your heart to your hands. Bow your head to your heart. And to this place, we're moving from our core, from our center. Thank you so much for practicing. Namaste.